We're in Costa Rica. BB is back there. For y'all don't know, BB's my sister. She wants us to do TikToks. We came to the Museo de Art Costa Rican, so the Art Museum of Costa Rica. But they're closed today for, I think they're adding a new exhibit, and I did not peep. Like, when I was reading it, it said they were adding a new exhibit, but I didn't know they were going to be closed to do that. So they're closed. And we're here. Like, we walked 14 minutes here from our hotel. It was not bad at all. It's raining season here, so every day it's gonna rain, but like it normally rains for like 2 hours. Yesterday it like sprinkled. It didn't even rain for real. And we were on a like a food tour. We did a little tour of downtown, and then we cooked. We made empanadas and an espresso martini and mojitos, and then we also got fed tostones, and I want to say we got fed a lot of food. I was like, oh, we just keep going. But yeah, it's been nice being over here. I think I was just so exhausted yesterday that I couldn't fully like appreciate it, and so now I'm like, okay, like I'm here. I had like, okay, so yesterday when I was, okay, so the way my flight was set up, right, because I live in DC now. My sister still lives in Florida. So I had to fly from DC to El Salvador and then El Salvador to Costa Rica. But my whole entire travel time was 9 hours. And my first flight was at 4 a.m. So, and the airport was an hour away. I had to use the bigger airport, Dulles, if y'all know of. I had never been in that airport before. It's humongo. Like, I think it's bigger than MCO, which is Orlando International Airport, but it's humongous. So I had to basically leave my house around like 12:30ish, got to the airport at 1:30, and then went through like TSA, all that, and I was at the airport for like an hour and a half before we started boarding. The boarding was at 3:10, so an hour before. But I just started getting anxious because I don't know if it was anxious or I don't know, because it's like I obviously don't speak Spanish fluently. I can understand a little bit of things, but it's also one of those things where it's like the person will talk and then I'll pick up a few key words and be like, okay, so he said X, Y, and Z, and let's throw that together and figure out what he could possibly mean, right? Because it's like no one's gonna, well, I'm not saying no one will, but it's like when people are speaking, like the way I'm speaking English right now, non-English speakers probably like, girl, why are you speaking so fast? And I'm like, well, this is my normal tone, like this is how I speak. But so when I get to the airline I was flying was a foreign airline. It's Avianca. She's cute, but they were speaking Spanish off rip. And I mean solely Spanish before we even left the States. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I didn't know it was going to start right now. Like, I thought like it would be like, Spanish and then English. No, there were some announcements that were just purely made in Spanish. And I was like, oh my God, lock in. So made it there fine. If I didn't understand anything, I was like, you know what? If I can't board the plane, they're literally going to tell me. So it's okay. So it was okay. But I was just like, dang, like I wish I knew how to speak Spanish fully. And I'm practicing right now. I'm practicing French. I have like my phone set up in French. I was taking French courses. I took 5 years of French in high school. So there are similarities between French and Spanish. However, I'm just not practicing Spanish right now. So I'm genuinely, I was like, what? Like what? Like what? Like what? And I'm trying. But it can just be a little intimidating. I think that's the word. It can be a little intimidating. And then, yeah. So I was just dealing with that the whole day. I had a traditional El Salvadorian breakfast that was really good. It was arepas, beans, eggs, no rice though. But for the breakfast in our hotel today, they had rice and beans, they had eggs, they had chocolate cake. And our tour guide was telling us yesterday that Costa Ricans normally eat a heavy breakfast. And this is because like back during like, I think the days when they gained their independence, like the farmers, they would eat in a heavy breakfast because you need like a lot of carbs to be able to do, such like laborious work. And I was like, that's so cool. Well, it's interesting. It's interesting to learn about. But yeah, like, and we went to this statue. It's called Los Presentes, I believe. If not, I'll put it on the screen. But it's a statue of a few farmers, I believe, and he was saying how they're like the foundation of Costa Rica. So it's, meaningful for them, stuff like that. And I don't know, I love learning about like different countries especially like when I go to a different country. I love doing a little tour, even though on the tour I might be hungry, I might be tired, and I might be cold, or I might be hot, and I might be annoyed, but I love a little history lesson. So, and then also on the tours, like they show you cool places to check out. So we found out about the Central Market. So we're gonna go back there, and then also downtown had a couple cool spots. The National Theater was really cool, so might go there too. But I don't know, slowly but surely I was like getting rid of the like anxiety I felt surrounding like not speaking Spanish, because I've been to a Spanish speaking country before, but I think I've always been to a more touristy city. And so when he explained that San Jose doesn't attract as many tourists, I was like, okay, that makes sense. So it's just one of those things. But I was like, if I want to be a traveler and go to these different places, that's something I have to get used to. So I just kept telling myself that on the flight. I was telling myself that yesterday. But it was nice to be surrounded by other people who are also doing the same thing, and they're visiting a non-touristy area and they're enjoying it. And yeah, I don't know, me and my sister were talking about how we would love to like move somewhere I've always said this, I've always wanted to be immersed in a culture so I could learn the language, specifically with French. Like I'm like, I don't know, like I was like, oh, I want to move to France, but then as I got older I was like, well, what if I just moved to like Senegal, and learn French over there? I think that'd be cool. I really just want to go to Africa in general, so yeah. But I really like walkable cities, is something I've learned. I like that I was able to walk to this area, but we are going to have to take Ubers a lot for probably most of the trip. The tour guide yesterday was saying certain places are a little bit sketchy at night. And y'all know, being in DC, I miss walk everywhere. Like I love it. So yeah, that's something I would say that is different about this, because the most recent Spanish speaking areas I was in were Spain. So there were cities like Barcelona, Madrid, that were more walkable, similar to DC. So this is more I don't want to say suburb, it's just less walkable, I would say. But there's people walking, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's just, I guess, safety-wise, less walkable. But yeah, I don't know. It's really cool. It's cool seeing the differences in culture between different Latin American countries. And then me and my sister were talking about how we want to go to South America. I haven't been to South America before. This is my second time in Costa Rica. The first time I came, I was 13. And this is basically 10 years later, because I'll be 23 this year. I don't know, it's just kind of cool. Like I don't really remember any intricate details from when I came when I was 13. I had a really good time, and I just remember thinking, wow, it's so beautiful. Like the mountains are so beautiful. I was I was just like, whoa, mountains, like this is crazy. But yeah, so now but I think when I came, we probably landed in San Jose and then drove somewhere else. Because I remember we were on a big bus and he took us like up the mountains, probably like an hour and a half or something away. I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I was like, whoa. And then when I went to Barcelona with my family last May, so like a year ago, we went to the Montserrat, up on this huge, like tall mountain. And it just reminded me of that moment when I was 13. So yeah, I don't know. It's only been like a day. So, but yeah, I love traveling. God. But also kind of just wanted to like air out, I guess, how I was feeling and like put it into words, because I think it's very normal. And this was originally going to be a solo trip, but I was like, let me invite my sister, because if I can travel with anyone, it's my sister, period. We went to Puerto Rico last year, y'all. We were so broke. We were like, every time we do something here, we're like, damn, remember in Puerto Rico when we were broke and we were doing X, Y, and Z? I don't know how we did that, but we made it work. But yeah, so I invited my sister. So glad I invited my sister, because when I was feeling all of that anxiety on the plane, I was like, whew, at least like I'm with someone. Yeah, but we're about to head to downtown. She's been making TikTok. She wants me to make a TikTok with her, and I want her to make this specific TikTok with me. So I'm gonna head over there. But yeah. All right. Bye, you guys.